Melt My Eyes, See Your Future by Denzel Curry. It is 14 songs, 45 minutes long. Denzel Curry is a very interesting character. You know,
Eclectic to say the least.
extremely eclectic. You had, the little project Unlocked with Denzel Curry and Kenny Beats, which was out, little EP a few years ago, I think 2020 maybe.
Yeah, we
Um, I,
reviewed
I,
Zoo in
I know we
2019.
reviewed Zoo, yep, in 2019, and Tattoo or Taboo, depending on how you want to say it, in 2018 as well. Very, very eclectic. I remember not liking Zoo that much. I still don't. So it's very interesting to hear how my I See Your Future would sound like. I know, actually, I'm very pleasantly surprised. We were having a conversation yesterday about it, and I was like, I really enjoyed this record, and still do. I listened to it a couple of times now, and I'm pretty impressed with it, actually. For someone who has, and I'm very impressed with Denzel Curry as an artist as well, because he is extremely eclectic. No album sounds the same. Like, any of his records. They are all totally different, from Taboo to Zoo to Melt My Eyes to Future. They're all different, and it's cool to hear that. But the thing too is, with this one, it sounds like he's maturing his sound. He's maturing like his lyricism, the production quality, everything. And it's just everything flows very, very well within this record. There's a lot of old school influences, a lot of new school influences with this, and yeah, I'm thoroughly impressed with it.
Yeah, I was generally impressed. I think it's an album. It plays through the best of any of Denzel Curry's projects to date.
100%.
But I mean, like, it doesn't play through as well of an album as I would want it to. But however, like Sean was saying, I refuse to, in many aspects of my life, I refuse to adjust my standards. That being said, we have to be real and look at a lot of rappers don't even meet this bare minimum standard of
Oh no.
growing your sound, making your projects sound different between a part of each other, being like thoughtful and methodical of going, I'm not just gonna put out stuff every 3 or 4 months. Let's do the test really quick. Why be better? Because this is what happens when you're not constantly pumping out like 12 or 13 tracks every month or
Yeah.
so trying to assert that you can make songs. Like, cool, it's really easy to like go down to a jam session, make 13 okay songs and walk out of that and release it. You can do that if you want to. It's just not good. You work a little bit on your sound, you try to grow as a musician and add some more
Hmm.
things to your tool belt, and you get something a lot better. Also helps that like a lot of rap is feature heavy, and rap has done a really good job of branching out into other genres in a way that I think is probably rap is probably the genre where like secretly a bunch of things are now collaborating. Like it's really easy to see rap collaborating with different artists now, but here you have your obligatory T-Pain, which is glad to see he's still around. The Slow Tie reference at the end, and Slow Tie has been very fun hanging around with like
Hmm.
rappers as well. But I think both of their Denzel Curry's really like raspy, loud kind of like rap style, and Slow Tie's like very punk influenced and focused spoken word rap style really go really well together. Um,
Agreed.
we are gonna have to spend a little bit of time on track 8 because that's amazing. But let me just say,
I want to get to that, but we'll
yeah,
hold on to that because put a pin in that
yeah.
shit and
Let me
hold on
just
to
say,
that later.
Josiah and Powers Pleasant, Jid, Rico Nasty, and Black with a Six, along with
Slicks,
Denzel Curry.
Slickety Slack himself with Denzel Curry. Oh my
Yeah,
god, that
it's a
was.
track and a half, but more on that later. Basically, you have Denzel Curry. We'll go through this, and we might as well start right now with like Melt Session number 1 and Walk In with Robert Glasper. Shout out Robert Glasper. Have not seen him around in a minute, but there are two. The bigger point I was saying, Denzel Curry did a really thoughtful choosing and picking of people to feature with on this album. And what you get is a record that even though you're pulling from so many different artists, sometimes on even the same song, the songs sound cohesive enough to work together in an album, even though I may not like how they play through in order.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. Maybe only in the middle of the album do I have issues with the way the album is structured, but I like it throughout it. I like the beginning of it, how like Melt Session number 1, Walk In, Worst Comes to Worst, John Wayne, also known as Santa Ana Airport. Um, like
Is
they
this me?
Who said that? um, anyways, with those 4 tracks, it kind of gets you into this theme that he wants to get you into. You know, it's a little bit chiller, a little bit stepped back for him for sure. Because normally he's like really into your face, spitting vocals, just fast, various, just crazy. But this is step back. It's stripped back a little bit, and the beats are really good. They're calm. They're chill. Bass lines are incredible. But the main thing for me is Denzel Curry's flow is getting better. It sounds very, very good in every track he does. All the features in here really complement him well. And that was an issue I had with him before, like on Zoo. I didn't like the features. I didn't like how he sounded with other people. Sometimes I thought that he would overpower them or get overshadowed. Like there was no happy medium with that. And this record to me is where you finally really found his place of, okay, hey, I can have these banger tracks like Ain't No Way and even Sanjuro and a couple others towards the end, but more on that later. But even with those ones compared to even like the front half of the album where it's a little bit slower, it's still good. So um, yeah, kind of moving on to that middle of the record, Mental Troubles featuring T-Pain. I actually really like T-Pain's feature in this. I think it complements him very well. I'm usually a big critic of T-Pain, even though T-Pain is right of last year, but even with this little auto-tune thing he still does, it worked well with it. And that's, to me, a sentiment that, like, Denzel Curry is doing really well with the production and trying to implement whoever artist he's working with into the record. So
And the
yeah,
co-sign with T-Pain. I mean, no one exemplifies that legendary rant from last year where T-Pain's begging artists, especially in rap, to try different things. I mean, Denzel
exactly,
Curry would definitely be one of the first artists you would bring to mind on that, who's doing
100%.
things and executing very well.
Yep,
Maybe not would have been the first you bring to mind just because like he's been a little bit quiet up to this point with projects, but this is a great example. I think the T-Pain co-sign it makes a lot of sense there. But
hmm
since we just finished talking about track 7, let's just dig into track 8. Let's dig into track 8, baby. Um, Ain't No Way is one of my favorite tracks in a minute. Like rap wise, production wise, everything. Like
it's
Skliggity
so good.
Sklack can do no wrong. He layers just a lovely flow or R&B type thing on whatever pairing you do. Rico Nasty with Denzel Curry, another perfect thing. Just like I was saying with Slow Thigh, their unique styles and what they bring to rap,
Fits so
that
well.
edgy thing, that just fits, complements,
hmm
makes it better. Jid, one of the sleepers, absolutely right now. Like he's like a sleeper J. Cole essentially with how lyrical he is, how smart it is, and you have all the other like little flourishes from Powers Pleasant and Josiah together just really bring a complete track. It's 4 minutes long, which you would imagine. I mean, like with that many artists that you want to highlight, it has to be at least that long. And 4 minutes just seems long for a song these days, but it doesn't overstay its welcome. It goes really nice. You get Denzel Curry like name dropping some of his favorite rappers and artists in there. There's one like he says his references to like LP and Killer Mike and like Run the Jewels, but not only
Yeah,
that, he goes further to like Killer Mike's sort of a mantra of like plot, plan, strategize, organize, mobilize, that kind of thing of moving away, like moving past just political ideology that you talk about or do about. Like, how do you act about it? How do you
actually
make a
do
difference to
something.
it? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll stop myself right there. But if you're into that idea, power report. But
And I like all of the references he makes throughout the record too, because like he has a lot of De La Soul references and stuff, and
yeah,
a bunch of all these artists who he's looked up to, and you can hear those influences in this record, as I like alluded to earlier, and it's impressive. It's very very impressive.
it's another one of those moments where like you look at other rappers and you turn and
Oh
go,
yeah,
"What the fuck are you doing?
okay, yeah, come
Where's
on
your
now,
thing?"
but
Yeah,
exactly.
it's you see your star on the team way at the front, best mile time in the like school district, and you're looking at everyone else on the team like struggling, holding back, and you're just like,
Oh man.
really? Come on,
Yeah.
can we close the
It's like
gap a little bit?
It's like the Edmonton Oilers where you have the two best league scorers by far, and the rest of the team doesn't do shit, and they're like not gonna make the playoffs. You're like, come on now, why do I gotta do this? Exactly, yeah, and it's cements our frustration with trap and rap that we've had the past couple of years, and our short attention span to it now this year. But this album's fantastic, and it's really good to hear it. Moving on with After Ain't No Way of X-Wing Angels, which are good. I really like Sanjuro a lot with featuring 454. I like that because it's just like in your face with it. It's short, but it's like a fun trap song where it just gets you into it. It feels like older Denzel Curry, but like still again taking that tiny bit step back, but still has a little bit of on the nose, a little bit on the fun with it. And then after that, you have I have no idea how to say it, but track 13 with Slow Tie.
Zatoichi.
and Zatoichi. I can never say it. But anyways, and I really like that. I love their pairing together. Again, all of the features on here are fantastic. So, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good record.
YB not better.
YB definitely not better. Like not even the same fucking planet.
If I had to complain a little bit, there's the mainstream appeal of this. I'm not sure necessarily if it's there. It's good. I mean, it's great, but I don't know if it's
Maybe a
less of.
track or two. Like Ain't No Way. I think it'd have some mainstream appeal.
Walken's blown up pretty well.
Oh yeah. And I say maybe Troubles, but it's kind of hard.
Yeah. I don't know, but I think this is Audioface. We don't judge albums based on how well is this gonna like perform charts wise. It's like how is it good quality, yes or no. And a lot of times we review things that are like really highly cosigned, more on that later, that may chart well and do really well, but like it's just not great quality. So we sort of like go on to the next one. But moving on, we're going to give this a score, an arbitrary scale, because we do arbitrary scales every week on Audioface, because our review is our review, and I'm going to make one up at the top of my head, because we definitely forgot to make one.
I'm like, did we make an arbitrary scale? Okay.
You know what? I got one. This is going to be types of birds. I mean, government surveillance devices, because we all know birds aren't real.
Birds aren't real.
So I'm going to give this crow. Like one of those, like a really strong, like hefty crow that can caw really loudly and flies long distances, does courier missions. You know, this is a reliable bird surveillance device.
This is a pelican. It's a pelican. Just like swooping up in Malibu, eating some fish. Oh, reliable.
New Orleans Pelicans.
New Orleans Pelicans. God, I forgot about that.
I'm still not going to get over the Seattle Kraken. Like, what?
Yeah.
So many different things they could have named it. Yeah. That would have been better, but
brutal.
Whatever. Those anchored jerseys go hard, though.
Yeah.